Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to our next live class in which we'll be doing a bit of reviewing. So we'll have a look at a couple of the expressions, ways to communicate from the last session, last Tuesday. We talked about how you can talk about your goals, your dreams, what expressions we can use to talk about what you're going to do in the future. Plus, today we'll be looking at something not in the future. We'll be bringing it back in the present and talk about how you can generalize. Now, this is something that often comes up in conversations. My students always tell me that they often meet different people from different countries, and it's a useful skill for them to know how to generalize, how to talk about their countries, their culture, their traditions, and also how to talk about differences as well. So if you stay until the end, you'll be learning a couple of expressions and ways to express yourself better when you talk about issues, traditions, habits of people in your country, or instead of habits, more like customs, because we would normally use generalizations for that as well. So I'm going to just have to quickly set up our, what is it called? TikTok live stream, and then we'll be jumping into it. If anybody is joining us right now, say hello in the comments, let us know what countries you guys come from, and we'll be jumping into the class right afterwards, and hopefully we'll be able to review a couple of expressions and the vocabulary that we had a look at recently as well. So I'm going to share my screen, and on that screen you will be able to see some of the key phrases that we've been looking at. Hi Niraj, how is it going? Great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, your name is Durgesh. I always forget that Niraj is just your nickname. So how was your day? I've got the file as well. Oh, maybe a much nicer way to actually do this is if I just upload my slides. So how was your day? How did you spend your Tuesday? It's still at the beginning of the week. Hopefully you have the energy to slog through the day or the week. And we can learn a couple of things here as well. And the live is set up. I'm doing great, thank you. We just started. It's 10 o'clock here in Costa Rica, where I'm currently staying. And hopefully there'll be lots of people who are able to join us today as well. So yeah, my classes are usually in the morning. So I work, prepare lessons, activities for my students, content for you guys on my social media channels in the afternoon, and my classes with my students, my lessons are most of them in the morning, because when it's morning time here in Costa Rica, it's afternoon or evening in Europe, right? And it's late in the evening in Asia as well. So hopefully lots of people will be able to joining us. During the day, it was sunny weather, but in the evening, it started to rain. Awesome. Is that a typical weather right now in your country? So I'm going to just put this here. And if anybody wants to join us on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to join us. We have a live class. There's a link in my bio. Feel free to join us. So I want you guys to have a look. This is something we focused on exactly a week ago. So we talked about different ways we can talk about your goals in the future, right? Talking about the future, what you do 3 months from now, 6 months from now. If you are a professional, if your intentions are clear, you always have goals, right? People can't live a happy life if you don't have goals and if you just randomly move through life. So we can always use these expressions to talk. Now, if you think about your dreams, your ambitions, your goals, right? These are expressions we saw about a week ago. So these are great ways for us to start communicating and using these phrases, right? One of the most important parts of improving your fluency is using phrases, intentionally integrating new phrases, expressions into your conversations, right? If anybody's just joining us, hello, Hamdan. Great to have you here. Make sure you check the link in my bio. There's going to be a link where you can join the YouTube class. There's a live class going on in YouTube where you can join us, join Durgesh, and talk about a couple of these things. Super important expressions we can use. So let's have a look and try to come up with a couple of sentences that you can use when you talk about the future, right? So for example, the first one you can see on the board, or if you are on YouTube, you're able to see the expressions on the screen. One day I'd like to. What is one day you'd like to do? You know, close your eyes and just imagine anything is possible in life, because it's true, anything is possible. What is something you are committed to doing? What is something you're ambitious about? What is a goal that you have that you want to do in the future? If we think about me, one day I'd like to have my own English learning app, which is not going to waste people's time, but it's actually going to help them remember vocabulary, keep track of what vocabulary they know, and also help them with lots of conversation practice. That's one of my dreams. So one day I'd like to design my own language learning app, which helps a lot with language coaching as well, which is something I do in my business. If anybody doesn't know me, my name is Chubby. I'm an English fluency learning and language anxiety coach, mainly focusing on helping professionals, engineers, psychologists, marketing specialists, lawyers, serious people who want to improve their career or life opportunities by improving their fluency, communicating effectively and confidently. So this is you. Welcome here. Welcome to our community. Okay, we've got an example already. Good job, Durgesh. And anybody who's just joined us, we have 4 people watching online on YouTube. Feel free to leave your comments as well, right? Because we don't improve our fluency by watching videos. We improve our fluency by communicating, leaving comments, using the language. Every confident English speaker understands this. A language is not to watch, to observe, to memorize. A language is to actively use on a regular basis. One day I'd like to speak English fluently. Awesome. Hopefully that's not just one day, but soon, because so many opportunities will open up for you if you invest time and effort in learning English, right? Now, we've got another one. The second expression is, at some point, I'd absolutely love to do something. The reason I love long sentences like this, and I always recommend my students use long expressions, is because, you know, what is the biggest reason people struggle with speaking is because they always look for the next word to use, right? They want to use the perfect word next. That's the wrong way to approach improving our fluency. The way I teach my students to help them speak fluently is that we don't focus on individual words, right? We don't speak like this. Why would we focus on words? We want to focus on expressions, phrases, sentences, and communicating with them on a regular basis. So can you guys think of an example with at some point? I see Vulcan as well. Welcome, welcome. Hey, how's it going? One day I'd like to move to another country and live there. Awesome. I can tell you the best thing you will ever do in your life is living in another country. It's going to open up doors for you you've never imagined, challenge you for your personal development, and help you become so much more open-minded, which is, I think, something a lot of people need to work on in this day and age. Durga says, great example. At some point, I'd absolutely love to establish myself in the UK. Almost. The only thing about this, the great expression to use, right? So at some point, I'd absolutely love to maybe establish myself, right? Or a great way to use it is, nice, we have Dia as well. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for the support. At some point, I'd absolutely love to travel for months. Probably in your new position, you'll be able to just take a few months off, travel to the Maldives, sip on a cocktail every single day, and swim with dolphins. I mean, it looks like a nice future, right? Thank you so much, guys, for the comments. Guys, if anybody's here, join us. We have a live class going on YouTube. So if you're serious about improving your fluency, Look at this comment section. People are leaving comments, joining us, participating in the live class right on YouTube. Anybody wants to join, all you need to do is head over to the link in my bio and you'll be able to join us. Just click the link and participate. Great example. So going back to Durgesh's example here. So you could either say you establish yourself in the UK, or, we focus a lot on phrasal verbs. Using phrasal verbs always helps you communicate more effectively and naturally as well. So one thing you can say is settle down, right? So Durgesh, you can even say things like, this is an alternative. At some point, I'd absolutely love to settle down in the UK. Then if we think about the third one, we need to pay attention to the grammar as well, right? So Vulcan says, at some point, I'd absolutely love to step out of my comfort zone. Do it today, not just at some point. Every single day, step outside your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Super important for your growth as a person and as an English learner as well. There is no learning in the comfort zone. So what is the third one? Can you guys think of an example, people on YouTube? Can you guys think of an example to use that next phrase? I'm thinking of. The grammar we have to pay attention there is that we have of, right? So when we use of or any preposition, we need to use a verb in ing form, in the gerund form. So you can say, if I think about myself, I'm thinking of traveling in Mexico for 3 months. Or I'm thinking of surprising my students for my birthday with a masterclass inside our community. So the 14th of June is my birthday. And I love, providing as much support to my students as I can, lots of trainings, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, communication, and probably there's going to be a massive masterclass for my paid students to celebrate my birthday and me turning 34 years old. So any ways we could use this example? I'm thinking of giving a new training to my students. I'm thinking of starting to design a new activity, right? I'm thinking of working from home for the next 5 years, right? What is a plan you have or an ambition that you want to share? Happy birthday, dear. Thank you, Model Teme. Not my birthday yet, so let's not do that in advance, right? But my birthday is going to be there. My aim is to improve my English vocabulary. So I suggest you ask for a guest request and manage for speaking practice in your live. We have the class on YouTube. So this is just for people on TikTok to get over to YouTube. I don't receive guests on my lives because so many of my students come to me, they pay for my time and my services, and I don't want to disappoint them. It's not fair if I have paid students who pay me for their time to receive a guest here and have a private class for free on a social media platform, because most people don't come here on my lives to listen to how somebody else practices English for free. If they want to do that, I can send them a link. They can join our community. My aim is to, so let's have a look at the next one here, right? Dodesh is already moving on. My aim is to, what is your aim? Think about, my aim is to do what? You can think about your English as well. Yeah, I don't care about how many people are on my lives. I care about how many students join our community. I'm not an influencer, artistan. I'm a coach. So my aim is to do what? What is something you can think about? An example. What is an aim you have, guys? Guys on YouTube, people who participate in the comment section. What is your aim? Think about something about your English. Think about something about your life as well, right? Like my aim is to, we have 3 programs right now with my students. And my aim is to open my coaching program for even more people so they can learn English faster when they understand how to overcome their fears. That's one of my aims. So my aim is to develop my coaching program even further. What is your aim? Could you think of an example here? Durga says, my aim is to improve my English vocabulary. So how are you going to do that? How are you improving your vocabulary? Give us a tip in the comment section. And once you've used my aim is to, then we can also move on to the next phrase, which is going to be I'm considering doing X, Y, Z, right? So I'm considering, and then an ing form. You could think of an example like, I'm considering moving to the UK, right? Durgesh, I think this is one of your dreams. Or I'm considering giving a speech, right? One of my students is a researcher. So she's done a PhD in Canada from Jordan, and her dream is to become a professor at the university. So she's considering practicing her public speech so she can give better presentations to all kinds of people who are interested in what she has to offer, what she has to teach. Let's see an example, guys. Guys on YouTube, what example could you use about this? My aim is to do what? What is an example you could use? Aim is another way to say goal, right? So my aim is to think about, for this week, what is your goal in English? If anybody visited my stories with my followers, yesterday we talked about the importance of goals, right? What is your goal this week about your English? How you're not going to waste your time and energy by focusing on what's important for you to develop and to improve, right? Let's see a few examples, guys, in the comments. Durgesh has already used one. What is your aim for this week? You can think about it, right? My aim is to get better at pronouncing the O sound, right? That could be an English goal. My aim is to express my opinion better. My aim is to tell stories better, right? All these kind of things can be examples there as well. As Rian says, my aim is to have my own coffee business. Brilliant. That's an incredible one. I'm absolutely sure if that's not just an example, a real one, then you're gonna get there. All you need is dedication and energy, time, effort, consistency, right? Adrian, so fingers crossed. If you have your coffee business, let me, message me, and I want to be your first test customer. But Adrian, if you want to join us, we've got a more active group on YouTube. So feel free to click. There is a link in my bio. People are already commenting here, and you can join the YouTube channel. And we're currently on a live stream. So feel free to join us and practice in the comment section. The next one, so we're going to move on to the number 6, the sixth one, so we can have a look at what I plan to focus on today as well. So the last one is a really, really cool one. That's all right. Sorry, I skipped question 3. One thing to be careful with Durgesh is not to use the word the, right? So I skipped question 3, or I skipped the 3rd question, okay? So careful with the articles in English. The last expression is one of my favorites. I have a burning ambition to do something. If anybody knows me, you guys know that I always speak to ambitious people, because without ambitions, I don't even want to surround myself with people who don't have a goal or a purpose in life or an ambition. It's going to be really hard for people to improve their English, build a business, improve their career if they don't have ambitions. So share with us an example on YouTube about a burning ambition you have. What is a burning ambition you have? I have a burning ambition to use brain science to help more people to improve their fluency. Because if we really look at how the brain naturally learns English, people can make a lot more progress than if they use traditional classrooms teaching, right? Studying grammar, memorizing words. That does not work. So I have a burning ambition to introduce neuroscience or brain science to more English students so they understand how to learn English faster in my community. What is your burning ambition, guys? Can you share an example? And if anybody hasn't joined yet, guys, we have a link in the bio. Click the link, join us on YouTube. you're going to have the full screen in front of you, and you'll be able to comment with other members of our community as well. So Durgesh on YouTube says, I'm thinking of how to pass my IELTS test. So first of all, this is not a plan, right? If you want to say I'm thinking of, then we need to think about a plan. Like, I'm thinking of passing my IELTS test. How to pass my IELTS test? You could say, I'm wondering how to pass my IELTS test. Or I'm thinking about how to pass my IELTS test. I'm thinking of is a different meaning of think, right? This is why understanding different meanings of the same word is going to be super important, right? We have think of, and that doesn't mean the same thing as think about. How do you know the difference? You practice a lot with content, with examples, and then practice speaking and using them in different contexts. But great job, Durgesh. What about the last one? How could you use the expression, I have a burning ambition to do something? People of YouTube, share your comments. And then we're going to move on to what I wanted to talk about today, because I have like, how much? 25 minutes left, and then I need to start preparing for my classes with my students. That's all right. This is not correction, Durgesh. It's feedback, okay? I don't correct people. I give feedback. Huge difference. A lot of people don't like corrections. If you look at how the brain perceives correction, many people, many people are trying to do that, right? They don't seem to do that. They don't seem to receive the feedback. So I think what we want to focus on is feedback, okay? Constructive feedback. But yeah, appreciate Durgesh for trying. This is what happens when you leave comments. When you leave comments, you learn from your mistakes. So what is a burning ambition you have? Let's see one option here. I want to see one person on YouTube sharing with us an example. What is your burning ambition? Think about your burning ambition is to. Skibidi Toilet says, you're getting paid well. Well, I'm running my own business. It's not about getting paid. It's about serving my students, who obviously pay me for my services so they can learn English faster. Well is kind of a relative term, first of all. Second of all, I don't think I would answer this personal question on my social media channel. Adult teaching English. I don't teach English. I coach. Huge difference. So let's move on to the next part. We've got a couple of expressions right on the board. You can see that on YouTube already. Oops. And we've got a couple of expressions over there to talk about generalizations. This is what I mentioned in the beginning of the live. Many times when we have conversations with other people, we want to talk about customs, we want to talk about traditions, how people do certain things in our countries, right? All right, Durgesh sent an example here. Thank you so much. I have a burning ambition to be an effective English learner. Awesome, that's a great one, and should be your priority, right? Because effective English learners are learning English 10 times faster because they know what to focus on. So we have these 10 expressions. I might want to move away here. We've got 6 expressions we can use to generalize. And then we have 3 expressions we talk about when we talk about differences, right? So let's have a look at the first one. This is, if anybody was here on the live yesterday, you know that we talked about habits, right? So this is something we can use either to talk about traditions or habits as well. Have a tendency to. So let me just ask you guys, if you read the first question, people in my country have a tendency to drink green tea. What country could this be? In what country do people have a tendency to drink green tea? Any guesses? I spent 6 years in Asia, and I know there's a lot of countries, well, a few countries, where they drink green tea. Any guesses, guys? What country could this be true? People of YouTube. China. I think China, people in China, as far as I know, drink more black tea, right? They drink what people call poucha in Japanese. So that would be like brown tea if you translate it from Japanese. But yeah, I think Chinese tea is more black, but I only spent a few days in China, so I don't really know. I would rather say Japan, right? Either Japan or Korea. Very typical green tea drinking places. What do people drink in your country, guys? Think of people in my country have a tendency to do what? What do people drink in your country? Coffee every day? Cocktails? What would you say when you talk about your country? Feel free to share in the comments. People in my country have a tendency to. Hopefully water. Guys on TikTok, don't just watch the live. Feel free to participate. Get over to my YouTube channel. There's a link in my bio on my profile page. You can click the link and join us. Thank you for the share, Bokorada Amado. And let's bring in some more people, guys. If you like what we talk about, if you are a professional, you have ambitions to improve your communication skills, let's hit your finger on the screen so we can keep making progress and improve. People in my country have a tendency to drink milk tea in the morning. Wow, I didn't know people drink milk tea in other countries. Could this come from like the English colonization, Durgesh? In Algeria, it's coffee. So Zainab, the goal is not to leave a comment. The goal is to use the expression here, right? If you don't use it, you won't remember it. So please use the expressions if you leave a comment. You can see a beautiful sentence with the first one if you don't just put 4 words here that you already know, but actually start practicing new vocabulary here, right? This is part of how we build vocabulary and confidence. So let's move on to the second one, guys. People on YouTube, let's move on to the second one. That's a pretty easy one, right? Many people don't know that the word will can also be used to talk about habits, right? So recently we had a few classes with my students where we practice how to talk about habits, not just saying often and sometimes and usually, but how to express yourself with a wider range of vocabulary. So one of them is will. If you say will, it doesn't just refer to the future. You can also use it to talk about present habits. Just like in the past, we can use the word used to and the word would whenever we talk about a past habit. With my students, we practiced how to talk about habits in the present as well. And will is one of them. So most people won't speak English here. Is that true about your country? So people in the country have a tendency to drink. Yes, because we were under the English colonization before independence. Yeah, I guess so. You know, a lot of countries I know who drink milk tea with milk, do so because of British colonization. Yeah, I had a Sudanese student, and in Sudan, I think Sudan used to be a British colony, and she told me that it's a tendency here as well. What about the second one? What is something most people won't do? Can you say most people won't speak English here? Alondra Galicia 510 says, I want to learn English. Do you have class particularly? Maybe you want to say private classes. Sure, if you're interested in private classes, you can always message me the word, just say hello, send me a message in my profile, and I'll be more than happy to help you. I'd be honored to be your coach. If you're serious about learning English, you want to get to a higher level in your career, move to another country, build your business, or any other goal you have, I'm a dreamer. So if you are a dreamer, Alondra, and you're serious about improving your English, let me know in a message, and I'll do my best to help you. we can have a chat about how I can help you. So what would you say? Would you say most people won't speak English here? Would you use the same expression in your country? All right, Durgesh is using, like, firing up the comment section on YouTube. Thank you so much. Most people won't speak English because they are afraid to express themselves. So yeah, yes and no, I would say. Like, most people, so everybody is afraid of speaking English. People get this wrong. It's not that people are not afraid of speaking English. It's that people who build their confidence, they speak even if they are afraid. And that's how you build your confidence, right? So everybody has emotions. We are all scared of taking a risk. We are all scared of communicating. We're all scared of speaking. But we do it because waiting longer isn't going to help overcome the fear, right? So Durgesh, maybe a more appropriate way to say it is that most people won't speak English because they stay in their fear, because they don't face their fears. Everybody can overcome their fears. Most of my students, and I've been teaching like thousands of students over the last 17 years, have all overcome their fears just because they know how to build confidence super simply. They know what to focus on, and they know where to put their attention. Everything is about these three things, right? Durgesh, for you as well. Know what to do next. You know the step-by-step method to build your confidence. Focus on activities that help you improve your fluency, not just understanding vocabulary or memorizing grammar rules or clicking on apps. And most importantly, focus your attention on what matters in a conversation. Now, the third one is a really, really useful one. Whenever we talk about something general, you can just simply say, generally speaking, right? So what is a general truth you can say about your country? So we could say, if I talk about my home country, which is Hungary, you could say, generally speaking, people are very pessimistic in my country. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to stay, because I cannot, I want to protect my energy from negative people. What is a general truth you can say about your country? Especially if you guys are on YouTube, feel free to share a comment. If anybody's just joined us and you're interested in participating in the class, head over to our YouTube live. We went live here. You can see the screen much, much bigger, and we're leaving comments and practicing. There's a link in my bio that you can join and participate on the live class, and feel free to share your comments. So generally speaking, what is a general truth you can use or say? Think of an example. Generally speaking, an example would be like, generally speaking, people wake up early in my country, right? Generally speaking, people eat with chopsticks. If we think about countries like Japan or Korea, or we can think about South Korea. Generally speaking, people eat their food with metal chopsticks, right? That's also a great example to use there. What example could we use? Feel free to share in the comments, guys. Be brave and practice, right? Don't be like most people who are gonna spend all their days never trying to say a sentence. Generally speaking, we are brilliant, Durgesh. Generally speaking, we are a multicultural country and stay in harmony, and that's a beautiful thing. So you're probably very similar to Malaysia, right, Durgesh? I don't know if you've ever been there. Malaysia is super multicultural. They have differences, but I know that the constitution of the country is all about unity, right? So Muslims and even Christians, I would say, and Hindu are all living together, sharing the same country and also similar culture. So it's a very beautiful thing, right? Living in a multicultural country. You learn a lot about how to be, yes, but never been there. You learn how to be respectful to each other. I think that's one of the great things about living in a multicultural country. I learned a lot about living in London and how to respect other people just because they are different. And this is one of the biggest gifts you could give yourself if you move to another country. Now, number 4 is tend to, right? Could we think of something you tend to do? So I have a lot of Spanish-speaking students, and they always ask me, like, Chubby, how do you say soler? Like, how would you say mi madre suele, I don't know, ir a la cama a las 11, right? Or something. And I'm like, you just say tend to. It's not as common because many times soler or suele doesn't get translated into English, but you could say that, tend to. My mom tends to go to bed at 11, or my parents tend to go on holiday twice a week. So what is a way you could use this expression, tend to express yourself? Feel free to share an example in the comments. Especially people on YouTube, Durgesh, I know you've been leaving comments here. You are super, super dedicated to practicing. What is something you tend to do, or people in your family tend to do as well? Hello, Gezin. Is that how you pronounce it? I know you're from France, right? But it sounds like a German name. But I don't know how you pronounce this. I forgot to ask your name when we were in the messages. So how is it going? If you want, feel free to join us. There's a link in my bio. You can click the link and join us on YouTube. We already have 4 participants practicing and leaving comments. What is something you tend to do? Think about something you usually do in your life, right? In your days. What is something you tend to do? What is something you tend to eat for breakfast, right? Your most important meal of the day. If I think about myself, I tend to wake up at 6 o'clock because I have morning classes with students in Asia. Or I tend to do a meditation every single day, right? At least once, if not twice. I tend to protect my energy from stupid people. Is a super important skill. I tend to help my family members by working abroad. So that's a great motivation for you. Guys, if anybody wants to join us, we have 10 minutes left from the live class. Feel free to click the link in my bio and join us. Participate in the comment section and join us on the live class on YouTube. If anybody joins us on YouTube and also subscribes to my channel, you're going to see a lot of tips, useful strategies, mindset, all kinds of mindset work that you can focus on to make progress with learning English. If you're a serious English learner, a professional who has ambitions, dreams, and you want to improve your opportunities in life. We know that people speak English confidently have thousands of more opportunities in life than people who don't speak English. That's a brilliant one, Durgesh. I tend to help my family members by working abroad. Now, if you have a look at number 5, that's also a really, really, really long one, right? People in my country can be. That's also something we can use. That's a pretty simple one. What is something people in your country can be doing? So people in my country, if I think about my home country, Hungary, people in my country can be pretty depressed. Or people in my country can be, I don't have very good opinion of my people, do I? People in my country can be, what else? Pretty negative. Again, that's one of the reasons I don't live in my home country. Anybody wants to make a sentence with it? Guys, on TikTok as well, feel free to leave a comment. Don't be like most people who are just gonna passively watch lives and then never improve their fluency because they never practice the output. They never practice saying things out loud and practicing expressing themselves, right? Writing is actually one of the fastest ways you can improve your fluency as well. So don't be like most people, because most people never get to fluency because of their behavior and their mindset. Any examples in the chat? It's a pretty simple one, but people might not use it, right? And then the next one, the last one, is will typically. So what is something you typically do, especially using will? Using will in a present sentence helps you express yourself with great job, Durgesh. People in my country can be more concerned about their religious beliefs. Awesome. Yeah, pretty cool. So people in country can be more concerned about their religious beliefs. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I guess so. A lot of people are concerned about their religious beliefs, right? Many. So the last one is will typically. So if you want to talk about a general truth, right? Something that you want to use to talk about things, you could just simply say, you will typically something, right? So for example, I lived in the UK for 6 years. Living in the UK, you will typically have to pay a lot for your accommodation, right? When I used to live there, I paid quite a lot for my accommodation in central London. But I needed to live in central London because I hate commuting in a train full of people. I prefer to just bike around the center. Hello, Al Sadiq Adam. How is it going? Great to have you here. Where are you from? Finally, have another commenter on YouTube. Always remember, guys, for building your confidence in speaking English, you just need courage. People who take courage, people who keep trying, communicating, interacting, and speaking will always improve their communication skills, their fluency, everything about their fluency, right? It is the necessary ingredient because so many people don't speak English fluently because they never take courage. So always praise yourself and celebrate whenever you take courage. That's partly why I'm super, super grateful when people leave comments on our YouTube live classes, because I know that when you take the first step to take courage, you're gonna take the next step as well. Life is all about courage. If you want to get to an amazing life, if you want to build your confidence, you want to build your communication skills, all you need is courage. Courage is believing in yourself. And so many people don't believe in themselves. It's a choice. For sure. So what is an example we can use? We have a look at the last three. So we have a few minutes left from the live, but have a look at maybe the last one. Okay, so the expression, the last one in sentence 9 is in a slightly different way. Thank you for the support. In a slightly different way. So how can we use this expression? Slightly means, anybody knows the meaning? I'm from Chad, but right now in the UK. Awesome. Whereabouts in the UK? You know, I used to live in the UK for 6 years. And I've been to not all the places, but a lot of the parts of the UK. So are you in London? Are you in a big city like Manchester, Liverpool, or somewhere else? So slightly means a little bit, right? How often do you guys use this phrase? Right, in a slightly different way. So we could say something like, people in the north of my country think differently, well, think in a slightly different way. Or people in the West eat in a slightly different way. People in the, I don't know, Pacific part of my country celebrate parties or birthdays or weddings in a slightly different way, right? Can anybody try and challenge themselves by using this expression in a slightly different way, right? Slightly means very small difference. So what is something parts of like people in your different parts of your country do very different way? People of YouTube, I want you guys to leave your comments over there. Let us know what different people in different parts of your country do in a slightly different way. If I think about Hungary, well, my home country is a really, really small country. We have like 93,000 square kilometers. So there's not a big difference, but you could say maybe people pronounce words or they have an accent. They speak with an accent in a slightly different way. So that's one example you could use. Any examples, guys? Especially if you guys are on YouTube. Share with us your comments. Let me just try and put this on. And if anybody wants to learn more about my work and how you can overcome your confidence issues, all you need to do is get this book. This is a free ebook, contains, the value would be like at least $100, in which I basically write down a step-by-step method of how I gain confidence in speaking English, how I built my business, my social media accounts, and my career by becoming confident in speaking English in a very simple, easy to follow way, because a lot of people simply don't know how to build confidence. So if you are ambitious, if you have goals that you want to improve your life, you're willing to do the work so you can earn more money, so you can get to a better position at work, maybe get a promotion, move to another country, live better, have conversations with so much more comfort and confidence, then make sure you head over to the link in my bio, download this and read this through, implement everything you see there, and you're gonna see a massive difference. We've got great people who live in the northern parts of my country look after their children in a slightly different way. That's interesting, huh? So yeah, there is a huge difference in the north of France and the south of France as well. Great job. This is what I talk about when I say courage. So good job on taking courage. You left the only comment on the live in like 45 minutes. That already means you have great potential to build your confidence. All we need is courage, not shame, not embarrassment, not all those negative feelings, but courage. So this is already, the first step. Simply leaving comments, all right? Participating in conversations. And Durgesh also have just left a comment here. People in the capital of my country live in a slightly different way. I just didn't put this on, compared to people in the village. Awesome. This is your first live, so great job. Great job on leaving a comment on your first live. Most people don't leave comments after hundreds of lives. So this is courage. And courage is the key to living a happy life. I'm in Leicester. Brilliant, Al-Sadiq. So guys, make sure you head over to the link in my bio. If anybody wants to, you can download 5 Steps to Confidence in Speaking English. And if anyone's interested in joining, we have a massive, great community where people join us. It's an international community. We learn how to improve our fluency. We focus on practicing conversations, how to tell a story, how to give a presentation, how to talk in a meeting, all kinds of things that professionals need in their real and also in their professional lives, or not real, but in their everyday lives. So if you're looking for a safe space where nobody judges you, you're willing to do the work, communicate with other people, to use the grammar and vocabulary you already know, so you can make progress, 10 times more faster progress than those people who just don't do anything about their English, only scroll through social media content and then wonder why they don't have the confidence. If you want to feel way better about your English in the next 3 months, have vocabulary automatically coming out of your mouth without thinking all the time, translating from your native language, let me know. Message me the word fluency and I'll send you all the details of how you can join us. We have a paid community, like a practice community where you can join. We have conversation opportunities, you get feedback, activities, everything else to help you explode your vocabulary so you can express yourself with more vocabulary more naturally, and also have a clear pronunciation and understand real spoken English, not just the one in textbooks. Or you can also get the fluency upgrade, where we're going to help you supercharge your confidence so you can quickly build up your confidence, have a lot of words to use, and also understand how you can gradually build your confidence as well. So if you're interested, let me know in a message, send me the word fluency, and I'll send you all the details how you can join us. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this live. Remember some of the phrases or expressions, do a bit of review, and we're gonna hopefully see each other on another YouTube live in a week's time, the same time. Okay, so thank you, Durgesh, for leaving comments. Al-Sadiq as well. You joined us at the end of the class, but it was great to have you. Hope you can join us next week. And Dia as well left a comment at the beginning. Vukan as well. So thank you so much, guys. Gesint for your comment. Super grateful, guys. When you leave comments, when you try, when you use the language, that already means you have courage. all you need to do is keep taking more courage, right? Thank you so much, guys, for joining.